Hello and welcome to ZacBowFitness. So today we're going to be looking at fats, the last one of the macronutrients. So let's get started. If you haven't seen the other videos, check them out because I've done the one about carbohydrates and proteins. And now we're on to the third one. As you can see there, the breakdown on there to 50 to 60% on carbs and the 10 and 15 and the 30 to 35 is what they reckon your daily recommendation is of having of each of these macronutrients in your diet. So let's look at the function. Fats and oils are categorized under the organic compound called lipids, and although fats in the diet are subject of debate and growing concern, they play an important part in the human physiological, making them an essential compound of the diet. So you hear a lot about people saying, oh, about skipping fats here, there and everywhere. But when you look at the fats, we'll go over them a bit more. So it is something that's essential in your diet. So people talk about good fats, bad fats, like the amount of fat that's in something like an avocado, which is good for you. So it's classed as good fats. So we'll look at that a bit more in depth as we go along. So here is a list of key functions of fats. I won't go through all of them, just have a quick read through them all, and you can see why sometimes the fats are essential for our body and why we actually need to get the intake in and make sure that we are having the right fats. So if you can see on a few things on here, so yeah, have a quick read through and then we'll move on to the next slide. So let's look at the structure. At room temperature, fats which are liquid are known as oils. So like it says on here, you've got sunflower oil and vegetable oil, which you see in your house, so you can see that it's like a liquid. And you have fats which are solids that are known as fats. Butter, lard, or the fats that can be on the outside of meat. So sometimes you'll see like lamb. Lamb is classed as a fatty meat, so you'll see the and pork where you have the crackling on top, which I quite enjoy. So lipids and fats are made up of a carbohydrate backbone, which then has three fatty acids attached to it. This is called triglycerides. In the digestion, these fatty acids are broken off, and used in the body as required. The majority of the fatty acids in our diet are made up of a chain of carbon atoms joined with other atoms, most commonly hydrogen and oxygen. There are many different kinds of fats that vary in structure due to the amount of fatty acids. The structure of the three fatty acid tails determine the classification of their lipid or fat. So let's take a look at saturated fats. Saturated fats mainly come from animal-based sources, with the exception of palm oil and coconut oil, and at room temperature tend to be a solid. The name saturated is linked to the fatty acids that attach to the glycerol. They are compressed of chains of carbon atoms with all saturated in hydrogen. As they are fully saturated in hydrogen, they do not contain any double bond, resulting in a straight structure. This straight structure allows them to pack tightly together with little space in between, which accounts for their solid structure at room temperature. So here's a table with a bit more information about saturated fats. So saturated fats is required in diets despite the negative assumptions that are commonly attached to it. It plays an important role in the immune system, provision of energy, structure that makes up of a cell, and enhanced liver functions in the fight against toxins such as alcohol. So let's look at unsaturated fats. Unsaturated fats mainly come from plant-based sources and at room temperature tend to be liquid. These are called unsaturated as the hydrogen is absent from the carbon atoms in the fatty acid tail attached to the glycerol head. The lack of hydrogen atoms causes two main effects. A double bond is formed between one or more of the carbon atoms. The fatty acids bend or kink at each double bond. It is this missing hydrogen atom that categorizes unsaturated fats into two main divisions. Monosaturates, a single double bond, equal a single bend in the tau. Polyunsaturates, many double bonds, equal many bends in the tau. So let's look at monosaturates and polyunsaturates. Monosaturated fats. The body is able to recognize the distinct shape and length of the monosaturated fats and utilize them accordingly. Diets containing suitable amounts of monosaturated fats have been shown to help lower harmful cholesterol and blood triglyceride levels. therefore reducing the risk of heart disease. Polyunsaturated fats, like monounsaturated fats, the body recognises their distinct shape with the double bond and bend along the fatty acid trail. The different shape means different functions in the body. Polyunsaturated has two subdivisions which are considered essential to the daily diet. They are essential not because they are more important, but like essential proteins, the body is unable to produce them itself, so they need to be consumed through food we eat. So let's look at the two essential polyunsaturated fats and how they are classified. So as you can see on there, you've got omega-3 fatty acids and omega-6 fatty acids, and where we can get them from our diet. And then below I've listed a few things that are essential, and these are essential fatty acids needed to be included in our diet to help us assist. As you can see, things on there like controlling blood pressure, so it's something you need to look at. Like I said, reduction of inflammation in arthritis and asthma, which a lot of people are worried about inflammation in their knees so they can train better. So you need to get these essential acids into your diet to help you to keep fit. And it's the longevity now, because we're all living longer and we're trying to stay healthier longer. As you can see, the fitness industry is getting bigger and bigger. So you need to try and make sure that you can get these things into your diet. So let's look at hydrogenated or trans fats. You hear a lot of people talk about these when they say you're checking out the packages for different diets and you're looking out for trans fats. You'll hear a lot more when you look at the keto diet or things like that. So the two classifications of fats that we have previously looked at, both saturated and unsaturated, are forms of fat which are naturally occurring and therefore are recognised by the body. This is not the case with trans fats, which are produced through a process called hydrogenation. Hydrogenation is the manufacture of an unsaturated liquid to become a solid. It adds hydrogen atoms to the unsaturated double bond. This gives the fatty acid a tau the appearance and the characteristics of a solid saturated fat, but without becoming fully saturated. This results in our body finding it difficult to recognise, and therefore process makes trans fats detrimental to our health. In this table here you can see a few more things that contain trans fats and different things that you may see in your diet every day, and some things you may think that you're eating better while doing it, but it may not be the case, so you need to check the packaging. So let's look a bit more. Hydrogenated fats are now thought to be more detrimental to our health than natural occurring saturated fats. The consumption of some margarines may lead people to believe they are eating a healthier option compared to butter, but this is not always the case. The more expensive margarines tend to state the specific types and the amounts of fats in them. So this is something you need to do, like when you're checking out the packages, seeing what you're actually intaking, because some of it, it may be full of trans fats which are not good for your body. It's like it says in the last slide, that your body doesn't fully recognise them. So it's something else to take into account. Hydrogenated fats now tend to be listed on products. They are used exclusively in the manufacture of food processes, as they are inexpensive compared to natural occurring fats. For example, mass production of cakes and biscuits could be made using butter, which is more expensive, or using hydrogenated vegetable fats, which is inexpensive. So you've got to look at what the products that you're picking. And like they say sometimes, you pay for what you get. So you might see a nice packet of biscuits, think, oh, they're cheap compared to a better brand. But when you look at the ingredients, you're going for a lower end of ingredient. So just think about that when you're picking out your products that you're looking at. So try and look out for the trans fats that are included. Let's take a quick look at cholesterol. Cholesterol is a large lipid molecule which is essential for life. It is transported in the blood and used extensively throughout the tissues for both the structure and functions that are essential for life. Cholesterol cannot be utilised for energy production, which means it is of very little caloric value. Cholesterol is produced by the liver and released into the blood. As it is a lipid, it does not mix well with the watery nature of our blood, so it's packed in with a carrier protein called lipton protein. Lipton protein encases the cholesterol to enable it to be transported throughout the blood. So I hope that these videos have helped you with a bit more information about micronutrients. So if you haven't subscribed them yet, so subscribe. Get watching my other videos, like and put any comments of what else you'd like me to put up. But thank you everyone, and I hope you've enjoyed these videos and they've given you a little bit more information. Take care.